little hints written down. Let's get started on the first problem. So my starting point when I add is what, boys and girls? 0. What's the first thing I'm adding on this one, Brian?
The whole numbers.
Okay, so I'm going to add the whole numbers. What's the first whole number?
2.
Okay, so add 2. What whole number does that take me to?
2.
2. Because we started at 0, that's pretty easy. And then what am I adding next?
1.
Aiden.
1.
1. And that's the next whole number in my problem, okay? Now, Emmett, do you know the highest whole number that we need on this?
3.
Well, that's what I put right here.
Oh. 4.
4. Okay, so label this with a 4. Now, what's the denominator? Just tell me. 5. So I'll show fifths here. And I'm adding just 1/5, so plus 1/5. And remember I said I want you to label it below where the fraction is on the number line. And then rewrite it up above. Then I won't be able to miss the answer if you write it twice. Okay, so that's addition. Did your fraction change from the one in the problem?
No.
No. It's going to stay the same unless, like on C, we have to add fractions. Okay, let's take a look at subtraction. What am I going to start with on the subtraction problem?
Big dog.
Big dog. What is it this time?
2.
2. We are not subtracting 2. So, Whitley, how many will I subtract here?
1.
1. That's my first whole number. And that takes me to what number? 1. So my smallest number on this number line is going to be what? 0. And see why, aren't you glad you have quite a big number line? Because you've got to mark 8s now. Now this is where it starts to get confusing. So if I subtract 3/8, can you watch my pen do some little hopping?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. But I'm just going to go all the way to the 3. Minus 3/8. Okay? But that doesn't take me to 3/8. So I have a couple choices. I can count over. Watch my pen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or I can know the difference between 3 and 8 is what? 5. So it's 5/8. Why didn't I put a whole number beside it? Because it's 0. It's less than 1. Okay, we're going to keep walking our way through this slowly. I don't want to go faster than anybody needs me to, but make sure you use all your space.
The answer's 5/8.
Yes. We did it on our number line, and that's what we got. Okay, Justin, tell me, what do I start with when I'm adding?
0.
0. Good. And will my fraction change or stay the same this time?
Stay the same.
Except that we've got 2 of them. So that's a little different. Let's rewrite this. Now the commutative property of addition says that the order of the add-ins does not change the sum. So the order that I write these numbers does not change the answer. So why can't we just move them around to make it easier? There's no rule that says we can't.
Might as well just do plus 1.
I know, that's what one of the other blocks said. Might as well just do plus 1. The only problem with that is I'm supposed to show my fractions on the number line. But you can do that to get your answer, Carson. Okay? So we're starting with 0. What am I adding?
5.
Okay, plus 5. And that takes me to what whole number? 5.
5.
Right.
Obvious.
Okay, now I'm going to add plus 2. Oh, Oh gosh, except I wrote a 5.
No.
Okay, so plus 2
7.
takes me to what whole number? And it's very important that you put a tick mark there and you put a tick mark at the 8. Otherwise, it's going to be too hard to count your fractions between. What's my denominator, McKenna?
5.
So I need fifths here. So 1, 2, plus 2 fifths, plus 3 fifths. And we have an answer, don't we? What's the answer?
8.
Now, none of them on your exit ticket are going to turn out to be just a whole number. But that one's kind of clever, isn't it? Okay, going back to subtraction. What do I start with?
4.
Why do you say 4, Whitley?
Because it's the big dog.
It is. It's the first number in the subtraction problem. We don't know what the lowest number is yet. What am I subtracting?
2.
Subtract 2. What whole number does that take me to?
2.
You need a tick mark there. And then I think we know our starting point over here. What is it?
1.
1. Very important that you write those tick marks down. Because now I can divide it into sevenths. Jules, why am I dividing it into sevenths?
Because that's your denominator.
That's my denominator. Now I'm subtracting 2 sevenths. Watch my pen. 1, 2. So subtracting 2 sevenths. But that's not where I end up. So I have a couple choices. I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or I can know that 7 minus 2 is 5. Because I could think of 7 sevenths as my whole. Subtract 2 sevenths. That gives me 5 sevenths. I want you to rewrite your whole number. And then rewrite it again. Okay, did my fraction change?
Yes.
Yes. I subtracted 2 sevenths. My answer was 5 sevenths. Okay. The last ones are pretty fun because they go fast. We don't. I think we kind of know what we're doing by now. Okay, starting point on this number line, Aiden. I'm adding.
0.
Good. What am I adding first?
9.
So plus 9. And that brings me to what whole number?
9.
Notice I put a tick mark there. I was describing this to someone in block 3 and I said, it has to be precise. In other words, your lines have to be solid. And if you mess up, you need to erase and rewrite it, not just scribble over it.
What do you mean by solid?
Like, you know, if you decide you want to move it over here, and so then you're going, I don't know where to put it. That's not precise enough. I need a definite place for 9. Now I'm going to add what?
8.
Plus 8. And I need a tick mark. JC, what's my whole number? 17. So my final whole number will be what? 18. You need to mark both 17 and 18 because you've got to divide it into fourths. Okay, how many fourths am I adding?
3.
Do I need to label it on the bottom?
Yes.
And put the whole number beside it. Is that what you got?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the only hard part is when you're trying to remember, does my fraction change or does it stay the same? So that's why we wrote some notes at the beginning. Okay, take a look at F. Haley, what's my starting point here? 17, because it's the big dog for now. So we come up with a better word. And what am I subtracting first?
15.
So minus 15. And minus 15 takes me to what in Yeah, what whole number? 17 minus 15. Huh? You were subtracting 5. So my starting point is going to be what?
1.
And I'll divide them by thirds. Subtract 2/3. But 2/3, 1 and 2/3 is not my answer. So I can look at it as 3/3 minus 2/3, or I could just count over.
1/3.
I'm going to go ahead and circle it. It's close enough. 1 and 1/3. Nah, I think it would look better if I did it like this, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the last two. And then we'll get started. These numbers are getting larger. Okay, it's table 4 every time I turn around. There's whispering or something going on. So what do I start with on this one, Faith? I'm adding. Good. Start with 0. What am I adding first, Yamale? 15. Now, it doesn't really matter, but I'm going to go ahead and put it in the order of my problem for now, okay? And that takes me to what whole number?
15.
Okay. Jules, what am I adding next?
17.
Okay, so plus 17. And notice, I might have made my 15 a little big to start with, because I need to still have room to divide this into thirds. So the next whole number, what do I end up on?
32.
You did 15 plus 15 plus 2.
No,
You just did 15. Okay, what's my ending?
33.
Good. Divide it into thirds. And I'm adding 2/3. So I need to label it down below. 32 and 2/3. Did my fraction change? No. Okay, so starting point here, Lucy. 100. Okay, Rudy, if I subtract 20, what whole number will that take me to?
80.
Good. Put a tick mark for 80. What's my starting point? 79. I need a tick mark there too. Divided by 8. Now pay careful attention to this one. I'm subtracting 7/8. How many 8s are there between this whole number?
8.
Just 8. I'm subtracting 7 of them. So that's going to take me all the way to 1/8. So 79 and 1/8 is my answer.